Hiya kids, and welcome to another half-assed tutorial. I'm going to be looking at the loop button again, and this time I'm going to be looking at wavetables. Before we start, we're going to have a little exploration as to the physics of sound and how that works. Then I'm going to explain to you what a wavetable is, and then we're going to look at how you use wavetables on the samples. Very basically, understanding sound, we're going to go through it really quickly. Sounds are made from waves. The most simple sound is a sine wave, which is just like a curve, classic wave shape. All of the waves are measured in frequencies or hertz. The lower pitches have a lower cycle, and higher pitches have shorter cycles and higher frequencies. So that's a very, very simple understanding of hertz, lower pitches, longer wavelength, higher pitches, shorter wavelength. Really quite simple. But that's not the whole story, because different waves and different shapes of waves have different sounds. So the more complex a wave is, the more interesting the sound is. We'll have a look at Audacity, and I'll show you just very quickly all of these things on Audacity. Okay, so in Audacity you just use the generate tone feature, and we're going to make our first wave 100 Hertz. It's nice and it's easy, and I can show you afterwards how we can double that up to make it quicker. Show you the change of pitch. So we just made a sine wave at 100 Hertz. If I then speed this up, double the time, change the speed by 100%, then that will double the frequency, 200 Hertz, and it will be a higher pitch. Now if we add another track, and I'm going to generate a square wave this time, so I'm going to make it 200 Hertz, so it's at the same pitch as what our sine wave is now. And there we've got the square wave, and you can hear that that's got a different tone to it. And we're going to move that along, and then our final track on here is going to be a sawtooth, and then you can hear how buzzy the sawtooth is. Wavetable is where you have a fairly short sample which has lots of different shapes of wave, all at the same frequency / pitch, so that you can change the sound and retain the pitch as you move along the wavetable. Remember, on the model samples, every sample can be cut into 120 pieces. On a wavetable, because it is much shorter, you are using the loop length to find a single cycle of the wave. And once you've found a single cycle of the wave, you can scan up and down the wavetable using sample start, and that will change the sound of the wave. So if you have a look, say your length of your loop is 20, and you start at 0, 0, and that creates one cycle, maybe two cycles if you want, and then you scan that up and down, you can change the way that the wave sounds. Any short sample can be used for a wavetable. So I've used short snippets of vocals before now. That can be more difficult to then isolate a single wave, but you will always have a change in the flavour of sound regardless of what noise you use. Sometimes they sound a little bit more glitchy, but for today we're going to have a look on the samples, and we're going to have a look at the wavetable that we made in Audacity. I've already loaded it up, and this is what it sounds like on its own. And that's the one that starts with a sine, then turns into the square, and then turns into the sawtooth. So first job is to set the loop button, and there you can hear it sounds a little bit like the delay. So we're going to shorten the sample length now, and it can be pretty short. And that sounds pretty much like a sine wave to me. Now if you listen, I'm going to use the sample start, and I'm just going to pan along the sample start. And you hear this change in the sound. As you scan up and down. I'll make that a little bit bigger. And that's pretty much it. It sounds like a really simple thing, but there is some amazing stuff you can do with this. So let me just show you a bit of a jam. All of the sounds come from that one wavetable that we made on Audacity. Okay, that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you got something useful out of it, and if you have, please share it with others and pass it on, and make sure you like it, and if you've made it to the end, subscribe, and as they say at the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation, share and enjoy. See you next time, kids. Bye.
Wavetables.